There was one point when you guys were within 2 points in the fourth quarter, and then what happened from there?
We had a miscue with a switch out where Dario and Timmy just had a miscue with Hardaway, and he hit a three. It went to another. I think it went out to at that point it was out to five, and to Atlanta's credit, we couldn't get back in it.
Fred, Dario and Ersan had quite a battle tonight. Could you talk about that?
I mean, they're friends. I mean, I think Irsan was great for Dario. In Dario's first year in the league, to have a foreign friend, somebody as professional as Irsan is, to help guide him and speak to him. They have bumped into each other a lot in the European scene and the international scene, and it was somebody that Dario trusted and respected, I think because of that international history. So to see them go head to head and to see Dario sort of go to a higher level since Irsan has left, I look forward to that matchup, and I think it was a healthy matchup. Dario was down tonight. I think fatigue expectedly in some ways got the better of him, but it was good to see those guys play and go at each other.
Rashawn had a career high, and then Sean also getting in there. How do you think they did against Dwight?
I think they did great. I think, it was always a decision at the end when you were going to bring Dario and Rashawn back in the game. I thought Sean was doing well. I thought that Justin really in that flurry was doing quite well. And I decided with about, I think, 5 minutes left to bring back our starters. They came in a little bit sort of slow, but I feel like the body of work with Rashawn and Sean Long was excellent on Dwight. And, I think Dwight, when you look at his numbers of 22 points and 20 rebounds, he's always a handful. But those two young guys, I thought, did a good job.
It seemed like this game was very physical. And kind of chippy at some points. What did you see just from the dynamics between the two teams?
I actually thought the first half was flat. I didn't feel it at all, in fact, and I felt with our team and said to our team, it's sort of the first team that really finds a higher level of energy will win the game. And, that is the fifth best team in the East. They, too, are coming off a back-to-back. I still felt at home, we had a chance if we could find a different level of energy, and we did. We found a way, as you said earlier, to get it back to 2. I thought that the second half, I agree with you, that became more of a physical grind. It wasn't very free-flowing, but it certainly was physical in the second half.
Talk about the development of Rashawn and what he's done.
I'm sorry?
Rashawn's development, especially since the trade. Can you talk a little bit about that and how has this surprised you?
What has surprised me, and I've been asked this question quite a bit, his path to now and the way that he dealt with it has surprised me. When you look back, and he's one of 4 centers, and he actually started the preseason playing well, and then he just sort of got shoved aside as we started getting Nerlens healthy, and Jaleel came back, and Joe was sort of in and out of it, and he became the forgotten center. And throughout it all, he was not a forgotten teammate, and he just interacted with us. He went down to the D League, continued to work, and then just daylight opened. Daylight became available, and he has capitalized on that. I think that there are parts of his game that he most definitely has improved in. We're trying to encourage him to stretch the court, to stretch his game out to the three-point line. I think that his energy has never really been in question, but his skill, interior skill, navigating around people and being able to make extra passes, drop-off passes, those types of things, along with his attitude, has allowed him to really, in a twisted kind of way and a little bit of an erratic way, look back at this season, if the season were to end today, and say he had a heck of a year. He did improve.
Right, with the ability to, with the limited bench you've had, and you're coming off of back-to-back, the fact that you were down to against a playoff team, what does that kind of tell you about the guys you do have on the floor right now out there?
when I look at some of the, because you're always measuring yourself against, obviously, the league's elite, but also the East elite. And, you know, you beat Toronto, really good team. You beat the Celtics, really good team. And you point at, you know, some of these wins that we have had recently, and you look at the roster that has done it, Celtics, good team. That I'm proud of the culture. It's such a kicked around word. I feel even guilty talking about it because it takes years to truly like quantify it. But I feel like we're building a base, a cultural base of what we've been talking about. You know, the city is tough. The city has a hardness about it that we want to replicate. We want, you know, our style of play to mirror the personality of the city. And, you know, you look at that game tonight, and we have 30 assists. We share the ball. We shoot a high percentage. We're 17 for 22 at the rim. We don't turn it over. You have 15 turnovers. That's acceptable. The game is really derived on many levels is can you make threes? And for me, what it does for us is it reminds us that our summer's effort, because we're going to have a great summer. It's going to be a tremendous summer. And the base that we're building and how we can point our development path will be made that much easier with some of the things that you've asked me about. That's what it tells me about our team. And more importantly, that's what it tells me about the culture that we're hoping to build.
It seemed like with Dwight and Schroeder, they kind of put you guys in similar situations that you like to put other teams in. Do you think that contributed at all to that it was a little bit hard to score?
I think so. You know, I think so. I still feel like so much of the difficulty scoring was our sort of inability just to make some open looks. You know, if you rewind back at the end of the third period, we had, I think, 4 possessions in a row where we could have had layups. We had odd-numbered breaks. We had a 5-on-4, we had a 4-on-3, and we had a 3-on-2. And we didn't convert. I thought that was a subtle turning point. I think that the point that Jess, you just talked about with missing that Hardaway, you know, switch out was a key thing where it went from 2 to 5 and then it kept going. I feel like we missed a lot of shots as much as I give them credit on some of their defensive efforts.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.